So who wants to go down a conspiracy rabbit hole this morning? We hear a lot today about this so-called globalist elite, about plans to reshape society through technocracy, mass migration and digital control, 15-minute cities and universal basic income, and this idea that one day you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Whether you agree with those plans, whether you think that they're real, exaggerated, or somewhere in between, let's pause for a moment and run a very simple thought experiment. Let's say they succeed. Let's say a perfectly managed technocratic utopia is created. Everything's regulated, everything's tracked, everything's watched. Everyone receives a very basic living allowance. You stay at home, you're entertained with your VR, you're fed, and you're told this is freedom. What do they actually think happens next? Do they seriously believe that human nature just switches off, that ambition disappears, that resentment never forms? Do they think that the person that's allocated the top floor flat in a high rise in the city centre won't look at the person given a countryside estate and say, hang on, why them and not me? Do they think hierarchically magically stops existing just because it's been rebranded as fair? History tells us something very different. Any system that ignores human nature, our desire for autonomy, dignity, purpose and fairness, it doesn't produce harmony, it produces resentment, it produces instability, and eventually it produces rebellion. We don't even need to look that far back. Look at Iran today. For 47 years, Iran has been ruled by an authoritarian theocracy, a regime that controls speech, behaviour, dress, belief, almost every aspect of life. And yet, despite decades of repression, fear, imprisonment and violence, the human spirit there has never died, and we're seeing that right now. For decades, people have resisted, tested, whispered, organised, and now revolted, because you can suppress people for a time, but you cannot erase a fundamental human longing for freedom. You can control bodies, but not forever control minds and souls. Think back to William Wallace. They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom. This is the great flaw in every utopian vision imposed from the top down. They assume people are programmable, that comfort replaces meaning, that security replaces freedom, that humans will trade dignity for convenience indefinitely. They won't. They never have, and they never will. So when we talk about the future, the real question isn't whether systems of control can be built. They can, clearly. The question is whether or not they can last. And history, human nature and the lived experience of millions around the world all give the same answer. They can't. Let's look a bit closer to home. Across the West, people have been watching the effects of mass migration, demographic change, political corruption, and endless government mismanagement. And there's a word on the tip of their tongues. They don't quite know how to say it yet. But with every instance of two-tier policing, every time a newly arrived